If your 2015 to 2023 Charger's factory halogen headlights are looking a bit worse for wear, then this set of dual beam projector headlights will be just the ticket for you. Featuring OEM style and construction, these headlights give you everything you need to refresh the look of your car's front end, only they do it without the huge dealership price tag. While there are tons of options out there for aftermarket headlights for this gen of Charger, sometimes all you need is a factory style replacement. Whether yours are looking a little scruffy or they've been damaged, this set is a great way to get the factory fresh look back. And as such, these look nearly identical to your originals. On the outside edges, you're going to find that fiber optic style LED daytime running light that puts out a diffused white color and gives the Charger its signature mean look. Moving inside, these continue to look like the factory lights. You'll find yet more LEDs towards the center line that function as your turn signals, lighting up a bright amber. And of course, you have the halogen power projectors that function as your low and high beams, again, just like factory. The brand new projectors combined with the new crystal clear lenses give off a good amount of light with a wide beam pattern and a nice sharp cutoff, exactly as your car would have been the day it rolled off the showroom floor. Only thing worth noting here is that these do not come with new bulbs already installed, so you'll need to bring over the ones that are already installed in your car, or it might be a good time to upgrade the bulb as well. And you can do that right here on our site. We've got a bunch of different options for you if you want to go that route. But it also means that since these use incandescent halogen style bulbs, that replacements or upgrades are readily available and easy to get. So if you happen to be out somewhere driving in the dark, find that a headlight bulb has finally given up the ghost, you should be able to run to your local auto parts store and just grab exactly what you need to replace it, which again is going to make it a little bit easier for you to live with than something like a proprietary LED, because you're not going to have to worry about, well, where am I going to get a replacement from? Just go to the store, pick one up, and you're back on the road seeing exactly as you need to. Construction is also similar to your factory setup. The outer housings are made from polypropylene, and you've got polycarbonate lenses over top, basically the standard of the automotive industry. Now these are of course going to be weather sealed to help keep out dirt and moisture, and you'll find a few other nice things too. On the back, you'll find integrated breather vents back here to help prevent against fogged up lenses. There are also integrated adjusters, meaning that just like your factory lights, these are DOT and SAE approved and thus fully street legal. Pricing is the one place in which these really differ from the factory headlights. The pair here is going to run you about $800, which, and I looked for you to avoid the sticker shock, is about half the cost of just one of these if you were to buy it from your Dodge dealer. So for something that looks and functions basically just like your original for a fraction of the price, well, you really can't argue with it. Installation is going to get an easy 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 1 hour to complete. Now you will need to remove your front bumper cover in order to gain access to the lights, but that's a pretty simple job, and these will bolt and plug right in place of your originals with no other modifications needed. We're going to walk you through the entire process right now, so for that, let's head on out to the shop.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, clip remover tool, an extension, 7 and 8 millimeter sockets, and a 10 millimeter swivel socket.
What's up guys? Today we're installing headlights on our Charger. First you're going to watch a quick uninstall video showing you how to remove your factory headlights, and I'll meet you back here for the install.
Alrighty guys, so we've got our vehicle on the lift. It's going to make it a little bit easier for us to work because we're going to need to remove this front bumper. We've got the hood up. We're going to start by removing this upper shroud. So we've got our clip removal tool. We've got push pins all along this, so we're going to remove all of those and get this out of the way first. Now that we've got all those out, this top part is going to be loose. Let me actually pop this out. Now we have a 10 millimeter bolt right under where our fender meets our bumper on each side that we're going to have to remove. So we've got our 10 mil socket on our ratchet. We'll pop that out. And we can do the same thing for the other side. So now we've got the car lifted up in the air a bit, and if you do have a front splitter or lip, you're going to need to remove that first. And then we have some 7 millimeter screws at the bottom of our front bumper we're going to need to take off. So we've got our 7 mil socket on our impact. We'll get these out of here. All right, so now we're into our fender liner, and obviously we've got our wheels off. That's going to make things much easier. We've got our clip removal tool. We're going to need to remove the push clips around this area, as well as a few screws to pull our fender liner back to gain access to our inner bumper mounting hardware. So we'll pop these off. We've also got one in here, as well as a few down bottom here. Now we've got 3 7mm screws right here that we're going to need to remove. So once again, we've got our 7mm socket. We'll pop these off. Next, we're going to pull down a bit on our lower vent just to kind of make some space. We're going to need to pull in on our fender liner because it does hook around our bumper. Pop that out of the way. And that should be just enough to gain access to our bumper hardware. So we're gonna need a little bit more wiggle room on our fender liner, so we're gonna take out a couple more of our push pins to give ourselves some room to work. So once again, we've got our clip removal tool. I'm gonna pop these push pins back here out. It's gonna allow the front of our fender liner to drop down a little bit, which is what we need. Pull this whole thing back a bit like so. That'll give us room to access our mounting hardware for our bumper. So now we can pull our fender liner back, and this is going to be very difficult to see, but if you follow the line where your bumper meets your fender, there are 2 10mm screws we need to pull out. They're going to be facing down, so the head will be up inside of the fender. So we've got a shallow 10mm socket on our ratchet, and we'll get in there and pop these out. And this is going to be pretty tricky. And we're gonna switch out to our electric ratchet with our 10mm. If you have one of these, highly recommend it. It's gonna make things much easier. Once you have both of those out, grab them. So now we're gonna unplug our marker light connector. So we'll come back behind it, push down on our release tab, pop that out. We're also going to need to unplug our fog lights. So we'll reach back to our connector, release our red safety tab, and unplug that as well. So now once you've reached this point on this side, you can do the same thing for the other side. So now that we have everything unbolted and unplugged, we can begin to remove our bumper. So you want to very carefully pull this out and support it. So now that our bumper's off, we can begin unbolting our headlight. So we've got 2 bolts up top and 2 down bottom. So we need our 8mm socket and an extension on our impact. We'll start with these 2. Now we can get our 2 lower bolts. We'll get in here and get our lower ones. We'll get our last one. Careful to support your headlight. You don't want that falling out. Now we can pull our headlight out and unplug the single connector on the back side. So we'll push in our tab, pop that out, and we can set our headlight aside. Now once you have this side out, you can do the same thing for the other side.
So now with our factory headlights removed, we just need to swap over our bulb from our old one to our new one. So we're gonna come over to the housing, twist left on our cap, pop it off. Same thing over here. And then I'm just gonna take my bulb and twist it to the left. That's gonna unlock it. And then we'll lift up on the black tab, slide our connector off, and then we'll reach into our new housing and grab our connector. Plug your bulb into that connector, and then just line it up, drop it in, and then twist that to the right to lock that into place. Twist your cap to the right, and then do that same thing for your other headlight, and we'll get these onto the charger. So now we're ready to install our new headlights. Now these are plug and play, so just plug in that one connector, slide it into place. And I'm gonna get my bolts started. You can use an 8mm socket with an extension to get in there. And then we've got those 2 on the bottom as well. Next, we can lift our bumper and slide it into place. So now I'm gonna start at the top and work my way down. I'm gonna start with the bolts in the corner. So just go ahead and thread that through your fender and into your bumper. And then I'm taking a 10mm swivel socket to tighten it down. Do the same thing on the other side. Next we can reinstall all of our push clips. Now we're gonna hop back into our wheel well. We've got our 2 bolts going through our fender into the bumper. We've got one around here and one around here. Now it's gonna be very difficult to get a shot in there to show you, but you're just gonna kind of have to reach up in there and do it by feel. That first one's right here. I'm gonna thread that in as far as I can by hand. We're gonna do the same thing with the second one. Second one's coming out right here. And then I'm gonna grab a 10mm swivel socket to get up in there and tighten these down. And then we'll do the same thing for the other one. Now we need to plug in our side marker and our fog light, and then we can pop our fender liner back into place. So for the fog light, grab your connector, push it in, and then push in the red locking tab. And for the side marker, we're just gonna be plugging this one in. And then we'll just pop our fender liner back. We've got hooks down here that are gonna hook around the bumper. Pop those in. And now we'll reinstall our clips and our hardware. So now we can start popping in all of our clips. And then I'm gonna rotate my wheel and we're gonna hop underneath and reinstall our screws. So now we'll come back. I've got another clip here that I removed, and then we've got our 3 screws for our air dam. And then take a 7mm socket to tighten those down. And then repeat that process on the other side. Now we've got the 6 screws at the bottom of our bumper. Before you throw these in, make sure that these tabs in the bumper are slid into the splash guard down here. And then just thread in all your screws. Then grab your 7mm socket and tighten all of them down.
So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Dual Beam Projector Headlights with black housing and clear lens for your 2015 to 23 Charger with factory halogen headlights. Thank you for watching, and for all things Charger, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.